he is going based on the current market condition. Maybe it is already saturated. That stock may not go beyond the current, current price, or maybe not beyond a certain percentage. He may not see the exact growth.
Investing in stocks or shares is not, it's not a bad idea unless you have full awareness of what you are doing and where you are investing in that. But there are different other investment vehicles where people can invest. They can start investing. There are certain products which I do suggest my clients.
Some people may still show that they are rich outside, but when you sit talk to them, you will know what type of lifestyle they really have financially, right? All the external polish appearance that is available on their body, or which is waiting just the outside of their door, can be a fancy car, but their lifestyle is, it's very miserable because nothing is being owned by them.
Families in North America cannot even handle $1,000 in emergency in case of an emergency situation comes in.
So talking about financial education, it's basically an understanding of how the income is playing a key role, and making that income in a way to grow or make money for themselves over a period of time. So this awareness of how to make your money work, if the individual is going to know very in the early stage, that is going to be more beneficial, because there is going to be a lot of time for that individual to see more time for that money to go grow and reap, and get a lot of gain. So the very first step to reach, or to yeah, for a financial success, I would say, create a goal. So having a goal is basically determining what is really needed for an individual based on the type of person and the need of a person and the age of a person. This goal may vary. Let's say, for example, if you ask a kid, what do you want, I don't know, what is your goal, or what you really need in, for the spring break or for the summer break, right? They all they ask for is, probably a couple of video games, or they may ask for a cycle so that they can go around with their friends, or probably toys to share with their friends and play, you know uh, use it for playing with the friends. Fast forward, if it is a teenager, their need may be different. A person who is at the college level, they will have a different goal. A person with who is having a family or newly married, the goals are going to be different. But what is basically needed is have a goal. A goal will determine that person what is needed. Whereas many people are not really having a goal, but they just start spending the money on the go. You may probably know better why, what are the various reasons. In you may have noticed from your friends or colleagues, or probably families, even for family, maybe from your own experience too.
You are saying, okay, people have to set a goal with on based on what? Salary, income?
I wouldn't go to the income right away. First, the goal is, let's say, there is a wish for me, or there is a desire. So first time I would like to take an example. I want to buy groceries. Okay, so I need grocery. Where I can go buy, right? Or the need is I need grocery. So the goal is go buy a grocery. It can be in any retail shop. It can be, any specific shop. I may need it today. I may need it tomorrow, or I should plan it for the weekend. So the goal is go buy grocery. So when I start my car, I know this is where I need to plan my destination to, and I will not get deviated. Even if I see a Tim Hortons on the way to buy a cup of coffee, I shouldn't get deviated my route. My goal should be first go reach there. So my goal was not to go grab a coffee or buy some snacks. Goal is to buy grocery. Now I have written my goal or I have my goal. Coming to the question, coming to the next approach you asked, is it based on the income? It shouldn't be always with the income. It should be based on what is the need for the individual. Now saying that the individual have that goal, how to reach that goal? Now comes the income. Let's say you have the income. There are going to be some standard savings, as part of day to day life, or there are going to be monthly expenses. Say it, I I need to pay rent, or I
Mm.
have my mortgage. There is going to be a regular cost on my vehicle. The insurance is going to be cost, or it is going to be a cost on the a vehicle maintenance, or any other standard deductions that will go, including your mobile expenses, your internet or the utilities, whatnot. But your income is going to have a specific way of spending throughout the for that month, and there are going to be a way, an amount that is going to be available as a savings. Using that savings, now for the grocery I should have allocated a percentage of money. So as a regular expense, this is the money I should spend for groceries. I myself have a habit of I had a habit of going to one of the wholesale franchisee just to buy a like pack of milk, and I come back with a bill, with a bill of like 250 or close to 300, because your need is one, and the moment you enter into the franchisee, right, or to enter into the shop, you never know what you are going to get attracted with. Sometimes you'll happen to buy something which is not really needed, which is an unexpected expense, that is going to cut short my savings.
Mm.
If I still want to go for reach my goal, I need to make sure that my spendings are towards my savings, or my savings are spent towards my goal, and that will help me to reach my goal faster.
So yeah, that means that just basically lifestyle changes, right? Lifestyle changes, habitual mistakes or whatever. Yeah, I do agree with that. Before I got my license, before I came into financial sector myself, before I even, it's long back, 5 years, 6 years ago, I used to spend money like water, right? I do remember just on coffees and breakfast every day, every month, it's like 730, $750.
Wow.
It's just on morning, right? So just while going to office, just go to the coffee shop, order a coffee and a breakfast, $11, and then in the afternoon, and in between lunch or whatever, right? And in between couple of coffees in between. So anyway, the cost, it comes up to like what, 22, 23, $30 sometimes, right? Because yeah, I have a habit of showing. I had an habit of showing up to people. Okay, here he's going there, buying this expensive food, drinking, eating this stuff, right? So anywhere it will become anywhere between 25 to $30, right? And one day when I got my license, I was like, okay, let me do my financial need analysis, right? Okay, where am I standing? Where's my money going, right? Okay, if something happens to me, then what will happen? I came to a realization after I got the license. I started studying for the financial advisor, whatever, right? And then I started doing my numbers, and then I came to realize, hey, $750 for just for eating junk. Next, maybe like 45 $50 every month just for unnecessary subscription. Disney, Netflix, this plus that plus everything. Amazon, I would say, yeah, Amazon is kind of okay. I do run my business and whatever, but all the other stuff, no. I started to reduce everything. Gas, yeah, you said. So basically you are saying that people need to become disciplined in their lifestyle, right? Yeah. But how, but the numbers are showing that 60% of what, the study is here, right? What, 60% of America, US people, US and Canadians, they do not have habit of savings and do not have sufficient savings, and they cannot handle. And they are saying like in 2025 or early 2025, families in North America cannot even handle $1,000 in emergency in case of an emergency situation comes in.
So with the same example, like you said, right? Basically, a goal is needed, which determines the destination. And the second step, analyze your income to understand where this income is basically being spent. Are those the expected expenses? And see how it is being, how much money is left, that is saved. And that money can differ month by month based on the type of expenses the family need to have. And now I have a goal, and which is to go buy the grocery. The example that I used, I have money now to reach the destination or to reach the goal. What I need is a vehicle to take me there to reach my destination. And there are different options, right? And I can take a public transport where you have money. The goal is to buy the grocery. To reach to the store to buy grocery, there are different approach you can follow. So these approaches are basically in the financial area or solutions. What is really needed for the type of goal to reach? Taking as the layman example, for a layman person to understand this better, let's say three types of, to my level of knowledge, I can think about three or four types or four different solutions. One, I can go walk to a bus stop, take the bus, mark the destination where I need to go buy the grocery, and travel there, which may take, based on the time the vehicle is going in the specific route, number of stops, and then eventually drop me in a place.
So basically, there are different routes to start saving, and with that should start with planning, basic planning. That is what you're saying, right? But what? So, for example, I will take, yeah. You said we had to we had to set a goal. We have to do this, blah blah, right? Yeah, that is good. For example, I want to start saving now. Let's take me as an example. I want to start saving now. I have set income, whatever it is. Let's say, okay, so average income in Canada is what, minimum wage is what, $17. Based on that, people will get what, $1,200 a week. No, not 1,200, 700, 800 maybe. So let's say $1,000 round figure, right? Okay, I'm getting $1,000. Let's say, so it is basically $4,000 a month. So if my rent is $2,000, my groceries is $1,000, and then my car expense, my car insurance, blah blah, whatever it is, that's another $1,000. Where is that money that we can save? Yeah, I do agree that we have to save. Saving is a must, but I would say we have to we have to plan it accordingly, right? People are facing a lot of challenges now. Yeah, it depends. The way, if you ask me, the way we prioritize saving is depending on the challenges that we see. You see, our life is not just one stage, right? We come across different stages in life. So initially, when we are kids, we don't need not bother about it. When we get a job, we have 90% of the people from 25 to 35 years. I don't see much savings there unless they have special interests, like people like recently this Gen Z, whatever. They do not have people. They do not have any interest in saving money, right?
Yeah, yeah, I would say the reason could be several. You know, when I used to be in the adolescence age, or when I start earning money. Just before earning money, you may had lot of wish to spend money, but you don't have money. You did not had money. You had energy and wish, but there is no money for me to spend. By the time I start earning, the first thing I wanted, I really did was whatever the wish I had, which I failed to do that right that time when I had that wish. I want to fulfill all that wish, irrespective of how much it takes. because by the time I need to ask someone, can you spare me this money, can you increase my pocket money, or is this really, no, there could be sometimes a response back from family, is this really needed for you, right? Yeah, sometimes you never know whether it is needed or not. But after I start earning, like I said, getting into a shop, if you get, no, if you start attracted to some product, I'll obviously buy it. No, it's not because sometimes it's not because of my discipline with the spending habits, because I wanted to taste it, taste it for that one specific
Yeah, that
point
is
in
what I'm
time.
saying. That as the age group between 25 to 35 don't hold much savings. That's what, right? And the second thing, they don't have much challenges to face, right? That's the first step in earnings or savings. If that's the first phase, I would say, right? 25 to 35. After that, people will get married, then they get kids, then they get education for the kids, and then they need to worry about, before that they need to worry about buying a house or a mortgage or whatever, right? And then kids education, and then their retirement, and then in between all these there is what you call this tours and travels and vacation and whatever, right? But that first phase, people won't have savings, so they don't even bother about saving, by the way. Second thing, but the same group, if you have any group like friends or anybody, if you know, there is one guy, I I was talking to somebody, and he gave me this example, right? If you sit with anybody, now for this example, you need not worry about any age group, right? If you sit with anybody anywhere in a group, at a workplace or anywhere, you start talking about saving. Hey, this is this product. I know how to save. I started saving this whatever I bought. I started investing in particular product or whatever. Right? People will not. They will not. They won't even continue the topic. They'll say, they will either walk away, they will say I don't have time, whatever, and then they'll cut the topic. But if you start talking about BMW, hey, I bought this car, BMW, or this car or that car or this, people will engage in that topic, and they will stretch it for I don't know how many, 3 hours, 4 hours, right? Because all people are trained here, not here, anywhere else in the world, but not back home. Like in third world countries, they say third world countries, people never bother about this expenses, what do you call this, expensive stuff and whatever, right? What they have. The people are trained in the way that they only talk about spending, debt. The more they spend, the more they show off, the more people think that they get more respect, right? Even my case, like I had a guest in the house couple of months ago. He always like he see me outside doing some shopping or whatever, right? And then he's like, okay, what do you, he told me that he thought I'm like doing some warehouse job or somewhere, and then he came here, and okay, he saw whatever the documents that they have. I have this particular documents here, and then he saw me, okay, what do you do for this one, right? And I told him, hey, I do this whatever, right? I have my business and whatever. And then he's like, okay, I never thought that you are doing, you always like come in the simple t-shirt and whatever jeans, and even my jeans looks dirty, and I go, I don't. I was like, no, why do I need to show you, right?
Mhm.
I have what I have. I'm not super ultra rich. I'm not in a very bad condition, but I do have. I did prioritize my. I know the challenges that I face. I know the condition that I am, right. And I started my savings, or not. I don't want to say savings, right. I planned my financial pathway in such a way that I I I need not show anybody. On the same, I did not suffer for myself, right? And I'm not even worried about my kids' future too. At this point, I know they'll be very well off, right?
Like you said, uh, that a specific age criteria who will try to ignore to save money, or even to have a conversation about savings, or having a plan, long-term plan on how to save money. People are making that mistake, but I'm really not trying to, put them in a bad situation. But there are many people who has come back and say, that ignorance has cost me a lot,
Yeah,
right? So uh, it's nature. Like boys will be into the cars, and even when you have a kid at home, you can easily see based on the gender. If you have a boy, you'll see lot of toys with wheels. If you have a girl, you will have lot of dolls and kind of makeup set, or maybe a kitchen set. So as they grow, they will talk more about specifically boys, on a higher percentage. They'll talk more fancy about cars, video games, and the other gender, they'll more talk about probably the type of cosmetics. That is something they grew up with. They had lot of interest towards. It was part of their habit as they grow. So for the day long, they can still have the topic continue, like so and so. When this topic to a general education type of topic comes, it may be for kind of a boring for some individuals, or some people might think, what is this topic to discuss? Uh, Finance is one of the, I'll say, a very uh, safe, or no, it's kind of a secret area, for any individual. And some people really do not want to talk about the way how they are spending their money. Some people may still show that they are rich outside, but when you sit talk to them, you will know what type of lifestyle they really have financially, right? All the external polish appearance that is, available on their body, or which is waiting just the outside of their door, can be a fancy car, but their lifestyle is, it's very miserable, because nothing is being owned by them, right? They get into a lot of debt. The basic financial education says, try to avoid having debt, or if you're already in debt, come out of the debt. And what is, like you have stated, right? And for discussion, we may not have any specific solution to talk about, which is true, because this is just a plain conversation on a very, eagle view kind of discussion, right? When you sit with someone who really need a financial education to plan or build wealth for their future, this is where they're going to write the goal. That goal will differ for every individual. That individual is first going to say, I want to retire with so and so money. You are quantifying it, which is going to be based on their lifestyle. I need money after I retire. It's not quantified. Do you need $1 per day, or you need $1 per year, or you need 1 million per year? That awareness they should have, right? And if they
By
want
the way,
to,
there is also a number on how much we need, right? I don't know if you're aware of how much savings we need, how much,
yeah,
right? So yeah, it is. Yeah, people just saying that. Yeah, somebody saying, okay, I need $30,000 for my retirement, and again, it depends upon who we talk to, right, and what situation they are. But anyway, some people say, hey, I do remember an example like 7 years ago when I was working in a factory on a factory floor. By the way, couple of people retired, and end of the day they got $35,000 or whatever, and then they felt very happy. Hey, and not them, like my colleagues at that time, they were like, hey, he got $35,000, right? And at that time for me, oh wow, $35,000. But at this point, I was like, okay, 35,000. What is that? It won't get peanuts now, right? It's just peanuts, right? $35,000 is nothing.
yeah,
So people, it depends upon how. Basically, yeah, this is where, yeah, as you're saying, financial education. That is where it will bring up those numbers, right?
yeah, there
If
are always formulas to calculate, right? Like, you have a goal, then you'll add additional questions to make sure, they get the clarity on what how their goal should be, right? Like I said, having a ambiguous goal of, I need money during retirement. Good. How much you need? How much you can save? If you start saving today, where where you're going to end up with, like, at the age of retirement. Let's say you have retirement at 60, age of 65. If you start like saving the money you can save today, if just doing a simple math, do it for these many months or these many years, will you be able to reach there? In many cases the answer is no, because not everyone is planning for the retirement at the early stage, right? So
But
later
again,
in the stage they may not have enough money to, they cannot afford enough money to save to contribute towards a retirement.
if you ask me, the very first step, even before saving, if you ask me, that would be to clear off your debt. Again, there are a couple of discussions on what kind of debt, good debt, bad debt, whatever, right? There are a couple of, like, yeah, good debt is what, mortgage that gives you return on investment at certain period of time, whatever, right? But there are bad debt too. But if you ask me, the reason why people are struggling, even in the recent surveys, whatever the numbers that we are looking at, that is because people are in debt. Again, as you mentioned, COVID time frame is really bad. It's not just for economy, right? People maximize the use of what you call this, credit cards. Most of their debt level increased, right? So if you ask me, the very first step, if you ask me particularly, if it is, if for example, if I'm my client, I would say, okay, what is your debt? I will look at your financials. Okay, this is the debt, this is the debt. First, strategically, you prepare a strategy, attack those debt, clear the debt, and then start saving. Even, yeah, even while you are attacking you're trying to clear your debt, you can still start saving. For example, in US we have, they have 401ks. For us it's RRSP. I don't know how many people are here. Personally, me, if you ask me personally, when I was working in a particular company, I worked there for 7 years or what, right? I opened RRSP only after I got my license, which is my fifth year in that company. No, sixth year in that company. But for the past the 4 years before that, I was like, okay, RRSP, who cares, right? No, I did not save anything. But I was in a very bad debt at that time. I was not aware of like what is the importance of RRSP. Many people are not aware, right? People say, okay, RSP is okay, yeah, blah, okay. Some people will say, okay, I'll contribute 2%. Some people say 4%. Some people say whatever, right? I didn't. 4 years I wasted, and I started taking debt. Debt in the sense, credit card, car loan, this loan, that loan, student loan, whatever, right? And overall debt came up to $168,000. And
That's very big.
what was my income at the time? 47, 48,000. And I even don't know. I never had this concept of savings at that time, right? And the debt, if you ask me, I cleared my debt, by the way, right? That's a different story. After I got my license, I teach myself, or I got my mentors, whatever, right? That's a different story. And now I'm in a very good position. I don't have debt, by the way, right? But the thing is, first step people have to do is get out of debt. Credit cards, whatever kinds of the car loan, people always go buy expensive cars for nothing. He'll be having his income. I recently saw a post on X. Guy's income is what, 4,000, $5,000, and then he bought this Porsche car or whatever car, right? And he's paying like $6,000. I don't know where he's getting the $2,000 additional, right? And I think I forwarded the post to, uh, that's 2 months ago, by the way. So debt is the first thing that I would say people to people to concentrate on, and then go with the savings. Maximize your RRSPs. That is what I would say, or 401ks, right? For US people, whatever the particular income is there, try to maximize. The maximum amount that we can save is 18%, right? So if you cannot maximize or go up to 18%, at least target maximum whatever the company is matching. And there is advantage, right, in that. The advantage is company matches certain percentage, right? So that's free money, right? So that is how savings will come in, right? And people get out of, make a plan. I do have a format that I used. If somebody approach me, if anybody want to know that format, I can share that on. They can comment me. They can write a comment on the, for the video, and I can share that for free. If they send me the email, then I will share that for free. But I did use that format to attack my debt. There's if you don't create a strategy, for attacking the debt, we can never come out of debt. As soon as the more we extend, the more we get in. It's like a quicksand, right? So savings, use RRSPs, 401ks, whatever. Get the free money from that comes with the with the matching, right? Company matching and whatever. People should start saving for their uh, education, kids' education, right? For that, there are different products. They can approach their financial advisor or whatever. People should start looking at building their financial house. I would say, right? That house a should have a basic a common structure. If you see, if the foundation of the house is very weak, then the house, you cannot build a house on sand or in a beach. People are buying, but still that will have a foundation, right? And if you ask me, debt management would become the pillar, and then comes the investment, right? Investment part, yeah, that's for me, it's the last part, right? Debt management comes before investment for me.
Every individual may have a different, need, a different goal to customize for themselves based on the age criteria. But taking with the majority of people, what is basically needed in general, again, any person who is going to earn after their retirement, they need money. Have they planned for that income already? If not, have they saved enough money through their RRSP? Right. The solution is where the retirement saving plan. Like you have said, there are different solutions based on their criteria. Like if you have a kid, they one of the primary goal when they have a kid is to make or to give right education and send them to college, and they have a good life, to have a better life in this world. What do they really need for their education? It is going to cost more. Start saving for their education as small as they can. At least the least they can save. Start a plan, add the money, make that money to grow over a period of time. Because they let's say they open RESP the moment the baby is born, or when they go to the school at the age of 4.
That's for Canada, right?
Yeah,
Obviously.
at the age of 4. After 5 years, like at the age of 17, right? By the time they want to get into the college, those 17 years of time, or like 13 years of time, whatever the contributions that was made, it will have a growth. And there are going to be other contribution as a grant by the government here in Canada. So that advantage is going to be there.
And that's again a free money, right?
Yeah.
That many people are missing out. If you
True.
ask me,
And each solution have its own advantage and disadvantages, and that can be discussed in detail if there is someone is going to be really interested, or based on the comments that comes into this podcast. We can take those questions via the comment. Any family will require an emergency fund. That the name of the fund is emergency. It can be used for any need. Let's say if they need to do a kind of house no,
renovation.
renovation, or no, let's say if it has any uh, malfunction of an equipment, and if they want to use that equipment to be replaced, or it could be for let's say they need to swap their tires after a bad weather or after a bad season. And eventually it could be for layoff is very common nowadays. Even during layoff, for to sustain during their until they get the next opportunity, they can still make use of their the fund, emergency fund, to continue the same lifestyle. And all these solutions, let's say even if I want to buy my first home, recently Canada has introduced the first time home savings plan or savings account, so that FHSA will allow the individual to start contributing towards that account. It has its own benefits, and make use of that money, and buy their first home. If I am already a owner of a home, I will not have a goal of to buy my first home, because my first home is already with me. But any of the other solutions, it is more kind of a plan to build wealth for the future. It's not something to happen overnight. People should have that clarity, I'm going to retire at, let's say, 55 or 65. So at the age of 65, let's say if I'm at the age of 30 now, so I'm not 30, of course, but no, though I may look like 30, just commenting. But uh, I have 35 years for my retirement. So I have to start thinking to reach to the goal. I have 35 years. I will be contributing for all the 35 years. That way, it's not a goal to reach overnight. Likewise, any solution or a goal you have, to build wealth for your future, the individual have to give time based on the type of goal they need to reach, and they have to really have patience enough to see that all the discipline in terms of how they have the spending habit is really going to help them for a better living at the age of retirement.
Every time I talk to people about, hey, you can start saving now, whatever it is, right? Then the very first question, okay, which stock do you want me to, which stock, right? Which company will let me know. Tell me, give me suggestion for few stocks or shares, whatever, where I can. And then recently there is another company that came up with during the COVID that became very hit, which people say, hey, there is no commission on my trading. Right? I will invest my I have my TFSA account with this one. I have my TFSA account there, blah blah whatever. Right? The thing is, people don't know that they may be losing money. Right? There are different. If you ask me, there are different investment vehicles. Yes, investing in stocks or shares is not, it's not a bad idea, unless you have full awareness of what you are doing and where you are investing in, right? But there are different other investment vehicles where people can invest. They can start investing. There are certain products which I do suggest my clients, like for the kids, right? Basically if they start saving $100 a month, by 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 the time the kid becomes 30, or let's say 35, he should be having at least $500,000 in his account.
Mhm. Yeah.
Even the same, the people, there are basic calculators that people can find online, right? Even if somebody starts investing $500 a month, they will see at least like 300 400,000 dollars sitting in their account in by the time they retire. A person at 30 years of age, before he retires, he should have $500,000 in his account. Yeah. And that's just a generic example I'm saying, right? It's not an exact number. It may vary or it may increase, it may be higher or lower, but it's just my opinion, by the way, right?
True. Well, like you have already told, right? You asked me actually this. I have different expenses. How do I have like see money to save for future? And this is where finance analysis or budgeting is really needed. Here, when I started coming into Canada, the very first thing that banks offered me was a credit card.
Credit card, yeah.
And since then, before that, I still try to use my debit card, or try to have some cash in hand and spend it. So if you go into any store, even if you get attracted with fancy things, as long as you have only limited cash, you will buy only what you need. But now all I do is tap and go, right?
Yeah.
So I will get to know only when I'm paying my credit card bill why this month I got such a bigger number in my bill compared to the last month. Where did it go wrong, or was there any uh, duplicate expense? Or sometimes there are going to be technical glitch, but I haven't seen that in my bill so far. Touch wood, and you will get to know that there are like different spendings that happened, as because it is through credit card. You with a blink of eye, you'll get to like lose lot of money. It's not losing it, it's converting all that money into a product. You may not need that product, or you may not really, it may not be really necessary during that point in time, or you may buy it as because you see it in a deal, but you haven't opened that box, sitting somewhere in your basement or garage, or in somewhere at your storage. So using a credit card is one of the, I would say, one of the primary hidden expense, which will eat up a lot of your money. That takes you to easy debt, and paying debt is one of the key area to focus on, which will like when people say do not have money today, they have to pay their credit card bill. They still try to pay their minimum payment,
Mm.
which means they are ready to pay close to probably 25 to 30 percentage of interest rate, but they do not want to really save that money to for their better future. This is where the education is really needed. If they can focus on paying that for their debt, to close their debt, so that debt, whatever the money they want, they are currently paying it for the debt, they can use it for for the any of the other goal they wanted to reach. So for all the listeners who are actively listening to this conversation in the podcast so far, what was your best financial decision or the worst financial mistake that was made until today? Please let us know in the chat. It will be more informative for all the listeners, or for others who are reading this or listening to this podcast. With all these different types of solutions, to reach their goal, I'd always say the primary need for any individual is to have an insurance, because insurance is the only way to have a financial security for the individual, also for the family. If in case the person, the primary breadwinner, is going to be, so if he is not going to be available any longer in this world, so that way it will help to have a financial or regular income for their families. If they have a insurance, even if that breadwinner is not alive, the family is fully secured for the kids education, or to have the same lifestyle.
So basically, for an unforeseen condition, right? Yeah, I do agree. Insurance is very important. If you ask me, I was talking about building a house, right? If you can compare the financial, if you are building a financial house, debt management is the two pillars. If you ask me, the insurance would be the foundation. We have to build our house based on the foundation, right? On a strong foundation. If you ask me, yeah, insurance would be the foundation for me. At least I will build my house on debt management on the pillars, and then go on ahead, right? Yeah, insurance basically, people, every time the topic of insurance come in, then people will just run like that, right? People are scared of insurance. I don't know why, but insurance is really good for common people or average people. Always think insurance. I don't know, or people are trained. Maybe I would say people are trained to run away from insurance. But on the same way, big corporations or big rich people, they always invest in their insurance. Majority of that is that's entirely different topic, right? But it goes into the estate preservation and everything. Most of the people that don't are not aware of this, right? Insurance plays an important role in preserving the estate too.
Yeah, there are many information that a common individual may not be aware of when it comes to the financial planning. Until the time I got my own license, and I was having a different perspective altogether. And one among them was something like you said, people will run away when they say about insurance. I had my different perspective towards that. Prior to getting my license, still my perception did not change significantly, because I always believe in insurance. Only my ideology was different by then. Now, since there are various parameters that got changed in my lifestyle, so I can see myself one of the major reason for people to run away when the topic insurance comes. One, the age factor. I have seen people, especially when they are too young, let's say in low 20s or mid 20s, they may not be thinking the aspect of the longevity of a vision. What will be the what will be the eventually what will they eventually benefit by having an insurance. In fact, we can have a separate podcast specific to insurance. But going back to the reason, they may not really feel like this is not the right time for me to get one, right? Or rather than getting me an insurance now, I can spend something else. At that age, it may give them a feel the priority is the other thing, not the insurance. And the second major reason could be I really do not have enough money to save for myself. What would be the case, or where would I really find or get that money to save for an insurance? Like I said, we should do a separate podcast specific to insurance because it's a very vast topic, no, where we can talk for, I cannot say day long, but at least for a good hours, right? Yeah, good number of hours. There are variety of examples we know we can spin off and say, to give a better clarity about, based on age factor, based on the mindset, what are the real advantages, and what uh, variety of or solutions that you will get when you get into an insurance. What are the real benefits? What are the benefits of taking a decision early versus making a decision late in the league?
Yeah, that's also for the savings too, right? Savings portion too. Saving early is yields more result compared to later, right?
Very
Saving at
true.
a
Yeah,
later stage. Yeah,
that's very true because it's going to give a lot of time for that money to grow, and that will eventually make that benefit or the overall gain to a better number.
that's just basically procrastination, right?
Mhm.
Procrastination, and it's not just in terms of finance, right? Procrastination is always dangerous in any area.
And there are many people who are making a good progress in terms of proving themselves, to show their financial security or building their wealth. All those efforts are not being much appreciated now because people will not see the effort or appreciate the effort. They want to see the results. So when they see the actual result of someone who did not make the right decision at the right time versus who made the right decision at the right time, possibly two friends who were having different perspective. One believed in the financial concepts versus other person who believed that I know the finance concept are already very familiar to me, and I do not want to go with the recommendations provided by someone who is already licensed and giving advice to the people,
Mm.
for building their wealth. So by comparing the result, you know, I have heard from many people like, I wish I made the right decision like the other person did, to go make the right decision than assuming that I have the knowledge on how to save money. And this is another perspective altogether. It's not like if you are licensed, like people who do not have a license in the financial industry doesn't know how to manage their fund. They obviously manage fund.
People usually take advice from a friend, from their friends or friends of friends or family members or relatives or like anybody who may be experienced in finance area, may or may not be, but they are not licensed. They do not know nothing about how savings works, how markets work, how what kind of products we have, what kind of product is good for which target, right? But people just take advice from everybody, like in a group of gathering, in a gathering or in a party or where people will start talking about, hey, market is going this share is going like this, like that product is going good, this product is going good, invest here, invest there. I do remember, I did went through this. I did saw this situation happen to some of my friends. Right, like there is this a company in US. They they build this renewable power, whatever, right? And then somebody guided them to, hey, it's all green energy, blah blah, whatever. The stock will increase in starting putting money, and people started putting money, and then they all got dumped. But I did tell them, hey, for my clients or anybody, right? Usually, if somebody in a kind of discussion, if somebody tell me, hey, this particular chart, right, particular stock or a share or a company, People will say, I want to invest in here. I will say, okay, do not jump into that. Let me give me some time. I will come back. I will go through the financials. I will go to whatever details and everything, and I will give them specific target. If you're trying to buy it for a long time, wait until this comes here, right? If it comes here, that's fine. If it's going up, that's fine. You're not buying it now, right? Or if you are going for trading, short-term trading or whatever, you do whatever steps, just follow the steps that I do, right? And I gave that particular number to that stock, and I told them, hey, if this stock touches this one, assume that this is done. Do not invest any money into particular that product until we see some good sign. And as of now, it's like a year ago, last year, right? Basically the same time frame. As of now, I did not see anything good happening with that stock price. Or I'm not saying, I'm not saying that I'm expert in predicting this. Nobody predicts, nobody knows what happened, right? But basic technical analysis of any equipment or instrument should give us an idea on how the market, how that particular ticker or instrument is behaving. People always trust people without basic education in terms of finance, right? They do not have a license, they do not know nothing. They'll just sit and talk and start investing, and they'll start losing money. I think we do remember this. We had the discussion with me too, that the girl, uh,
Right?
Hawk to, yeah, yeah. See, people lost millions, right? And she made millions. She just went away. Nobody knows where she is now. People lost money, still holding that big bag of nothing, right?
They, I always go analyze sometimes, or at most times when there are different perspective being given. Why? Right? Like you have said, people always hear from their friends because their friends come and show them the result. They may not hear the struggles all they underwent. It may be the time where their portfolio looks good, and looking at it, they may hear their story and ask, okay, he did something, and now he is having a very good portfolio. Now this is the time I should also try doing something what he did, or what he is currently doing. But when he started, it may be like way long ago for a long term, and the stock prices might have went higher. Now the portfolio looks good. Now it's looking good, and the person who is inspired from his friend, if he starts now, he's not starting from the point where he originally started. He is going based on the current market condition. Maybe it is already saturated. That stock may not go beyond the current current price, or maybe not beyond a certain percentage. He may not see the exact growth as his friend has or had. No, sorry. The reason, because when they see the result, they immediately get attracted and started like following his friend. Whereas, and that will happen in sorry, where that will happen overnight. Now, when it comes to the long term strategy, short term strategy, could be anyone can become an overnight rich person because it's completely based on the market, right? And people may play with a very good number of money, or good number of money. Whereas when it comes to the financial planning, what they do is it's a very long term planning. I will start adding a very small portion of my planned savings, which will take that money to invest into some kind of solution that slowly grow and grow, and it eventually have a compound interest. It will not be overnight, make any people overnight rich. And rich is a temporary word. Anyone can be rich today, and and can be poor tomorrow, or based on their spending habit. But a wealth is something like the value of the portfolio what you have. It, it it's not a status that to show you as rich. It has abundance of wealth, which will keep you in the same status no matter what, how bad the overall marketing condition is going to change, on based on some unknown crisis.
Yeah, the topic, the word that you said, rich and wealthy. I do remember 4 years ago when I got my license. Before I got my license, I I was preparing for the exam. By the way, right? The guy who my mentor basically, he asked me the same question. I was at that time I was like, okay, you know, I invested in this stock. I invested. I'm doing trading. I got this profit. Blah blah blah. Whatever. Right? And he said, okay, I will ask you only one question. Right? You want to become rich or wealthy? If you want to become rich, you can walk away now. If you want to become wealthy, stay here. I was like, okay, what is the difference at that time, right? 5 years ago, I was like, okay, rich and wealthy is the same. But it's like he gave me one like 1.5 hour class, explain what's the difference between rich and being wealthy. And after that, exactly, I would say 2 months, 3 months after that, I started seeing my portfolio go down by what 370,000 US dollars, right? So that is one of the things that I learned. First thing I would say I learned, being it's not that we have to being rich is anybody can be rich now in this time, right? Being wealthy is important. Yeah, that is, yeah, that's most of the people don't know, right? Like, I don't know if most of the people don't know, no? But most of the people think being rich is being wealthy.
So the other reason why we wanted to encourage people to take insurance at early stage is because insurance is one in my opinion is the only solution not an individual can buy if they have money. An insurance will always have a dependency on their on the health of an individual. When they stay or when they are in the young age, they are considered healthy. There are exceptions, but in common numbers, having an insurance at the early stage is going to cost them very less, you know, very less contribution towards their insurance compared to when they get something at an older age, though they consider to be healthy, though they are healthy. The common in no on an average for someone at the age of early 40s, right, compared to someone at the early 20s, the common numbers will say, there are going to be some known deteriorate in their health consciousness, in general. It could be sugar, it could be BP, or it could be obesity. There are many other many other common I won't say disease, but common things that will come into picture, which will eventually lead towards increasing their insurance contribution.
So basically, yeah, anybody can start saving at any time. They can open their bank account, they can open their TFSA, they can open their RRSP at any time. They can open kids TFSA, savings for their kids, whatever. Right? But insurance plays an important role in terms of, okay, so for example, if somebody, a guy named X, no, not X, somebody, a guy ABC or John Doe, right? Let's say John, common name, right? A guy John, he he has savings of 500,000 in his account, right? And then he has $1 million house which is on debt for 800,000, right? Let's say. And then he has RRSPs of whatever, right? And then he has different bank accounts with savings and whatever, right? And his mutual fund in performance is very good. It went up to whatever stage, right? He is like four times of his investments and whatever, right? But the thing is, this guy, he is not insured. So in case of an eventuality, in case something happens to him, there is this thing called probate or estate that he cannot escape, right? And his family won't be getting anything from his account or from his estate until the probate is cleared past, right? In order for his family's product, not for him, but basically, right? For his family, he should take insurance, whoever it is, right? John, in this case, John, if he has insurance, he will cover that. His family won't come into streets. They need not worry about paying estate tax or whatever it is. They have to pay it, but they need not worry the later stage. If something happens, who should the family cry about? Do they need to cry about this guy passing away, or that they are coming onto the street, right? So yeah, insurance. But the thing is, it comes with certain criteria. That is what I think you are explaining, right? Insurability is something that people, yeah, people should consider at an early stage. Yeah, depending upon age, the insurance premium, cost of insurance will go up. the more people delay, the cost of insurance will go up, right? And I do know that some many institutions, they will say, hey, people will go, you know what, for $40 I'm getting coverage of 1 million, 1.5 million, whatever, that's fine. But people should think about different conditions before they sign up for something. Like, if people get insurance, that's fine. I do not say that they should not take, but before they jump into a conclusion or take any decision, people should know what they're signing up for, right? A 40-year-old guy getting 45 years, sorry, $45 per $1 million, just for an example, right? For $1 million coverage, nobody's asking, okay, what conditions he has, right? Nobody will ask him what his condition is, he has any pre-existing conditions or whatever. If in case something happens to him, then the particular institution will start underwriting that time after the event. In most cases, that is, in my opinion, right? In most cases, it is post underwritten, and this is one of the main reason why I feel people run away from insurance, right? Because this guy paid whatever amount for a particular period of time. Let's say it's a term 20, whatever, right? And then on the last day of his 20th term, like last day of his term expiry, like the insurance expiry, he's done, he's gone. But the thing, at that time they will say, okay, his age is too high, they will start underwriting and they start verifying his medical records. Say he has diabetes, he has obesity, he is obese, he is this, he is that, he is that. We do not know about this earlier, right? So we cannot process the claim. That is how I think most of the insurance will underwrite.
No, that's one good point too, because I have money. I know I'm getting something for a very conservative price. So when I go for getting something for that conservative price without understanding what are the various conditions behind that price, which is given a $1 million policy for a very low price, you know, people need to they may still show and very proud about showing that I have $1 million policy, and my family is covered if something happens to that individual. And like you said, if the post underwritten is going to be in place, that's going to be not really a good situation for the family. So that is where they really need to go through a financial advisor or an insurance agent to understand what is going to be really beneficial for both the individual and for the family. We talked about both insurance and savings for the financial future. These two are interdependent. Somehow it is going to help for a better future. Of course, insurance is not for that individual, but for the protection of the family, financial protection of the family. So based on the type of solutions any individual want to contribute to reach their goal, there are certain parameters they need to think about. One is primarily the growth. I can keep my money in a safe bank account. Either it can be a checking account or savings account. Checking account is not going to give me any better growth. Yeah, savings account I could say the same trend. So when I say I'm saving this for my future, the growth should be really good. That will beat the inflation, which is basically the savings for future.
Basically, what is the highest uh, rate of return that you are getting on your savings that anybody can get here, right? What is the major, you think?
I would say somewhere around, I don't know, so what I will say, for in paper we cannot go more than a single digit of percentage, but in reality there are various investments where you'll get a little more than 20% up to 40%.
No, no, on savings account.
On savings account, I never calculated, but when I was having the money in my savings account in one of the popular bank here in Canada, I never seen more than $5.
It's basically 1% or less, right?
That should be the case, based on the number I had. But as I said, I
Yeah.
never calculated. But the number what I said, somewhere around 20 to 40%. That actually, after understanding where I should have my money,
Yeah.
like it's the same money, but if I'm keeping it somewhere, I get that same $5 by contributing just $100. Now, if I do the math for the fancy 5-digit number I had in my bank account, like at least 5 years ago, I should have earned at least a few $100 to close to $1,000.
Yeah, there are some certain instruments or investment products where you can get a minimum of 7%, which is above our inflation
Mhm.
percentage, to anywhere up to my clients at least have 39% rate of return. And again, I do not want to say that it is just like putting money and what. It depends upon how we guide them, right? It depends upon if somebody is opening an account with some institution wherever, that guy or their agent maybe in that institution for now may or may not stay in the same position in that institution, working for that institution, right? They may go, somebody may replace. And even if people want to, for example, if you are my advisor in a bank, ABC Bank, if I see you today, you open my account, you give me a particular investment advice and whatever, I put my money, and something happens, if I want to come approach you, I have to call you and take an appointment at your convenience, not my convenience. And then if you are in still in that institution, if you leave, then I have to shave my head and go away, right?
That's true. Yeah, that experience is going to be there. But having said that, talking about one of the primary parameter growth is basically anyone who is having having the plan, like having the habit of saving for future. They should know that the money which is contributed should have a better growth. That should be the inflation. Should I keep all the money in a stock market and keep myself on a very high risk where I do not have a better knowledge on what stock I'm investing in? Am I following the crowd without doing any research? That is basically a high risk, kind of savings, I would say, because if it gives better return, if you're really lucky, I'm happy for you. But it is not always the case, because I have seen people, who really worry about just following the crowd. They have lost a lot of money. The third parameter I would say is taking tax benefit. The money that it grows today, contributed for future, as much as it grows, make sure it has tax advantage. Keeping my money at in by going with some general third party tool to buy stocks and get a daily gain or yearly gain. All those gain is qualifying for a tax, and that tax has to be filed every year. And there are very different solutions where it allows the growth of the money
So
contributed to it.
basically, it's like tax free growth.
Yes. So yeah, so there are solutions where the growth of the money will not undergo any tax, like you say, the
Yes,
tax free.
people know about tax TFSA. Instead of knowing what TFSA is, many people are ignorant or they don't want to say, "Oh, put money into TFSA." I don't know how many people. If we talk, I never did that. Maybe, but how many? If we take a group of 1,000 people, I would say at least 50% of them may not have TFSA account. Right? If you ask me, like just from my experience in this financial sector, right? The number of clients that I have, almost everybody open a TFSA with me, 100%.
Mhm. So which is good for them.
No, which is good for, that's a different story, right? Yeah, that is good for them. Yeah, they are seeing good growth, whatever. But the way I'm saying is, most of the people. So let's say if I have X number of clients, all X number of clients open TFSA. In spite of knowing that there is a product called TFSA, which through which they need not pay tax on capital gains and whatever tax free growth on the investments, right? But still, all the X number of clients open bank account, sorry, TFS account. That means, in spite of having or knowing about the product, that instrument that they have, people are still ignorant, or people are still not aware of how to proceed with that or use take advantage of that product, right?
Okay. So that is where they need financial education.
Financial education, yeah. Somebody need to direct them. Or I do know that people know about product, but they were struggling on where to invest that. Right? Okay, some people opened that in the past, like before approaching me through particular institution, and then they invested in particular stocks or shares or whatever, and then their portfolio went down. Thinking, okay, I bought these shares or stocks, shares of particular company or whatever, and they said, okay, when I buy this, I do not have commission on that. I'm not paying commission. I no sales charge, this charge, that charge. There are different types of charges, right? But the thing is, as the portfolio down, they are all already pre-indexed, right? As the stock portfolio goes down, people panic, and then they will sell the product. You people won't lose money until they sell the product or some particular instrument, right? If you ask me, I like recently, like every weekend, I will go through that through how the market is performing, right? S&P 500. I'll only look at S&P 500, right? And I will share. I will do my technical analysis or whatever analysis, right? And then I'll share the charts to my client. Say, you know what? No matter which instrument they are, which stock or share or mutual fund or whatever fund they are, ETF or whatever fund they are investing, right? I will take S&P 500 as my
Benchmark.
benchmark, yeah. And then I will analyze the chart. I will share the chart. Hey, I'm looking at this one. I'm looking at market may approach this point, this point, this point, right? Every time you see this, every time the market reaches this area, if you have money, put some money. I I would say confidently that my clients, in spite of market dumping, I would say my clients never panic. Or some people ask me, hey, let me know. I think I shared a chart with you too, a couple of days ago, right? I told you, like, market is now at this highest point, and I was like, okay, I myself placed a trade. I'm still waiting on the trade to be executed, and it's what, like 500 points down, and nobody will expect that, hey, market will come here. I have three. I gave my clients three steps. Say this point, this point, this point, X, Y, Z. My X point got executed, and I was like, hey, market touches this point, but still I'll go for that, right? I know that market will go down to Y, right? And then market came to Y, and between Y and Z, I still have 500 points difference now. That means if market crashes like crazy, right? Like it should come down. That's like that is the point. Maybe last September or October, that market is in, not even September. Yeah, maybe September, October, market was at that position. So all the growth is now coming down, and I'm pretty much sure the market will come down to that point. I'm waiting for my trade to execute. And what's happening here? People usually, when the market comes down like this, like recently, even with the tariffs or whatever, right? Market started dropping. S&P 500. People, hey, market is going down. Trump, because of this, because of that. Trump is making market to collapse and whatever, right? But I was like, no, that's good for you. If you are my client, if market is going down, I will ask you to, first thing, if you open an account with me or not with me, right, through me, if I am your advisor, very first thing I will say, hey, you know what, you put money here, you have started investing here, now go to God, go to church, your temple, or wherever, go pray to God, so the market drops, right? If you invest 200, 300, 400, 500, 1000, 2000, whatever, right? Just pray to God that the market go down now. That is what I will say. Do not wait for the market to go up. Always wish or pray that the market go down. That will be the reason for your success in investment. As long as you sell, as long as you don't sell, you'll always succeed in the market. That I can say that with my experience, right? I started. I think when we are. I think we discussed in the previous too, with Cindy's too, right? Uh, I started investing in a company in cents. in cents. Basically, that stock price was what, $5 or $6 something, and it dropped to literal cents, right? And then I started investing in that stock. I know that, like, I'm looking at the different parameters, right, about the stock, about the company profile, who is involved in that company, what kind of investments are they looking, what kind of deliveries they're making, what, blah blah, right? Price went down. I took advantage of that price. Literally cents. Nobody will even look at the stock, right? And then every time market goes up, the price goes up. I bought some, right? And then I made an average at 60 cent. That became my final average book value. Where did the price go? I sold it at $60, right? And then what happened? It fell down again. Am I buying? No, I'm not buying it now. It won't go. It won't go anywhere now, right? But anyways, I sold it at $60. But before it's selling at $60, the price even went up. But this is where discipline comes in, right? I did some kind of, okay. I was like, okay, I saw this profit, whatever, and I started playing with that, and then it dropped, and I sold it for whatever price, right? So whenever people panic, that is when money change hands. Right? That is what we had. Always look for the growth. Always make sure that your funds, wherever you invest, it's safe, right? That is what and always take advantage of tax. Uh, Use tax advantage. Sorry, products that give you tax advantage, right? Yeah, I agree with what you are saying.
So once again, for financial education, to all the viewers, to reiterate, I'd say have a goal, if not already, have a clear goal, and then see how your money is being spent, and determine the savings that you can do. Using that money, invest in some solution, or where it will take you to reach your goal. These three are really primary. And start paying your debt, right, Ashok?
Make a strategy. Start reducing your debt. Next, paying yourself first, and that can go along with the reducing the debt. I think we discussed in the beginning, right? Like, whatever amount that so we are paying our debt, on the same way we are saving something for ourselves through RRSPA or 401k or whatever, right? We set aside some amount, right? That it may be any strategy. I don't want to go with whatever the strategy it is, right? So it may be 20 20, uh, 20 30 50, or whatever percentage, right? Save certain amount of money for yourself, pay for yourself first, right? And then make more money. I'm saying this because, okay, some people will say, oh, I only have 4,000 income, for example, right? As we discussed in the beginning, I only have 4,000, my expenses are this, now how can I save? So if your income is 4,000, if your expenses are 4,500, rather than going for debt, think of ways to make more money, right? Do some second job, start a business, right? Get some license in some sector, right? And start working on a part-time basis, right? There are many ways to make money, right? And then build up your equity. That is where, as you start saving, your equity will go up. It need not be in savings or in the bank or in any other institution. It may be your real estate too, right? Make more money, you get eligibility to get a mortgage, invest in real estate, and there are different types of savings that you can do, right? So build up equity, and finally you have to make sure whatever you build so far, you preserve it, protect it, right? And how you want to protect it is up to you. There are different the instruments that you can go with, if an individual can go with, to preserve the estate, right? So basically all we are saying is reduce debt, make a strategy, reduce your debt, start saving for yourself. In order to save, make more. You don't have money, make more money. After you make money and start saving, you make sure your portfolio grows or build up equity based on that. And after all of these are done, make sure that you preserve everything that you so far struggled for, right? So the reason why we the reason why we are having this episode today is we were looking at certain news, and even a couple of friends, I would say, during uh, this whatever discussion, right, people said they are struggling to meet certain necessities, so they're feeling very hard to meet their what you call expenses, right? And people are losing jobs everywhere. It does not, there may not be an issue with with the individual, right? It is, it's the condition all over Canada and US now, right? So we have to plan ahead. We have to make sure that we build a strong financial foundation for ourselves and for our family.
For all the listeners, thank you so much for listening to this podcast. Let us know uh, what was very informative during this podcast to you through comments. If there are any specific topic that we want to do in the next podcast, do let us know through the comment. And if there are any private session or a customized plan that is needed for your financial planning, that is always welcome through comment. We'll reach you back, separately. Thank you so much, all. Build your financial finance with confidence, and we'll meet in another episode. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.